Look, stalking again by the New York Fecal Department. Right, I was just talking about them. You know, talk about how they love to do these tests, right? So they'll say to my daughter, you know, my daughter comes out to school and she's like, Daddy, you ever heard the song Amazing Grace? Now, when I talk about how they try to manipulate my mind, right, into becoming a believer, a religious believer, I'm like, no, we'll never go back to doing Christianity. Me as a black man, as a black person, it's not going to raise my children like how I was raised with lies and manipulation. To lie to others, to deceive people, to manipulate people. Because that's what Christians do, right? Why would I, as a black person, knowing that a man who engaged in the slave trade, who killed possibly thousands of my ancestors, right? And because his life was saved during the storm, that he wrote a song called Amazing Grace, and dumbass Negropeans singing that song as if associated with them. You understand? Like, this man committed some of the worst atrocities any human being could commit. But Negropeans singing that song don't understand that they are associating themselves with this man and what it is that he's done. And he didn't write the song to save because he felt good in his heart, right? That he suddenly had a change of heart and felt good in his heart about the enslavement of African people, about throwing Africans overboard, right? About raping and murdering, you know, my ancestors, my people. He wasn't sorry about that, right? He was basically relieved that he didn't die in a storm. Did he care about the Africans inside the bowels of his ship? No, he did not. So he wrote a song called Amazing Grace. Talk about save a wretch like him. And Negropeans putting themselves in the same category as this dude, singing that song, right? When black people sing that song at funerals, they're a bunch of dumbasses. When they're singing in churches, they're a bunch of dumbasses. When they're singing it on stage, they're a bunch of dumbasses. Because you associate yourself with some of the most vile, despicable people that ever walk on this planet, right? Because white people need to sing that song. And even though they sing that song, they're still engaging in the same behavior, right? Right? They're still engaging in the same behavior. They're still engaging in the oppression and the manipulation and the destruction of our people. And I will never, ever, like I said, I don't care what they do. Because once you know the truth, once you see what it is that they're doing, you can't unsee it. And no matter what they do, they cannot change your mind. You understand? Freedom or death. That's what we should be saying as black people. We wake up in the morning, freedom or death. Open up our eyes, open our mind eyes, see the truth. Call them out on their bullshit. And because they understand that black people are waking up, not Negropeans, but black people are waking up, is why you see Trump got elected, is why you see they're destroying the Civil Rights Division of the U.S. government, right? Go and look at whistleblowers from the Justice Department Civil Rights Division. They are not allowed to prosecute any case that involve any civil rights violation when it comes to black people. But I tell you what they instructed to do. They instructed to prosecute white men who feel that they have been discriminated against, who feel, with no evidence, it's just a feeling, right? So yeah, like I said, the dumbass Negropeans gonna soon find out. Listen, walk on the other side, please. Always walk to the inside of the sidewalk, okay? All right. Yeah. That's what they were, like I said, Negropeans are just dumbass Negropeans, and I'll continue to call them that. You know, some things I understand is cultural, but damn, common sense, a sense of decency, a sense of pride in who you are, a sense of anger because of what was done to your ancestors, that you sing in a song by some racist ass bastard, right? A slave trader, right? Who survived a terrible storm. Okay? And again, we like to believe in white lies, but these people don't ever change their mind. They don't. They know how to manipulate, they know how to lie, they know how to deceive. And that is who they are. You look at the system as it is today, it is the exact same way. It is meant to manipulate us, to give us a false sense of reality, to make us believe whatever it is they want us to believe. But when you know, when you have knowledge, they know that they can no longer make you believe. All right? They know that. They know when you have knowledge about their manipulation, the technology that they've developed, they've created, right? They know that they can no longer make you believe. So in order to have you as believers, they have to keep you in ignorance. They have to limit your access to certain things, particularly when it comes to science, technology, engineering, those sort of things, because they don't want you, black people, my people, to develop any countermeasure, any technology to counter their technology, right? Their mind control technology, right? So they keep you ignorant. They keep us ignorant. All right, wake up. Time for us to stop believing and start having knowledge. Start having knowledge. Stop believing, start having knowledge. Now look as she walk by. Hold up, stay right there, listen. She's looking at the license plate. Of course, it's Georgia plate, 2GB 3624. Here comes the hearse. Yeah, fuck you. There's gonna be a hearse for every one of you motherfuckers. Particularly these racist cops. They're gonna get their feelings hurt when the public when certain of our martyrs start to do to them what they've done to us, right? So you see, they love to cause pain and hurt with black people, right? They love to assassinate black people, to kill black people, and then talk about black people deserve it, right? Oh, look at these, N-words and what have you, right? They get joy from it. And I'm not saying that to say they've shown it many times. They've shown it over and over and over. And yet we refuse to understand, and we refuse to acknowledge their sadistic mindset when it comes to us. All right? And we must understand that. We must know that. Knowledge is power. Right? Let knowledge be your armor, not God. God ain't got no armor to protect you. Right? God ain't got you're not protected by the blood of Jesus. Okay? God ain't got no armor to protect you. You need use knowledge as your armor. Right? If you have knowledge, then you put things into action. Right? White people build sonic weapons to use sound to destroy our cognitive ability. And we're praying to God. That's how dumb we are. They build weapons, microchip, to implant us to control our minds without us even knowing it. But you want to talk about Jesus and God. Right? They build nanotechnology, robots to inject into our bodies. Right? But you want to talk about God. These people believe that their God is not your God and their God is not for you. You hear what they said? White man said black people are not protected by God. How you doing, man? Good. Right? They said black people are not protected by God. Black people have no divinity. Right? But Negropeans want to talk about like that God is protecting them. God ain't protecting you. You just become a sadistic motherfuckers like the rest of these racist bastards. Because they're sadistic. They get pleasure, they get joy. They get pleasure off of because they turn us against each other and they live off of that. They're vampires, that Bob Marley says, right? Bob Marley in his song Babylon System, talk about vampires. They feed off our energy, right? They feed off our energy, right? They profit off of our bodies. We have yet to understand that. The society and their God will never be for us. Understand that. It will never be. Whether they put a liberal or a conservative in office, the society is never meant to benefit us, and they don't want to change it to benefit us. Open up your damn eyes. Understand what it is that they do. Stop falling for the okie doke. Pay attention. Get knowledge. Talk to you guys in the next video.